Physical media man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another Physical Media Man Monday video. I have some more random movie reviews. Hopefully this and one more video will get me all the way caught up and I can get back to my monthly ones where I don't have a big backlog of them. So anyways, before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do all that good stuff down below. I'll leave the links to my Instagram page, my Physical Media Man store Instagram page, my website for merch, my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man store, my Facebook page for non-media related items, the Hodgepodge Garage, my email, my eBay, my Twitter, and my Letterboxd account. Alright, so yeah, these are from who knows how many months worth, all over the place. I probably don't have scores written down on all of them, so and hopefully I haven't talked about any of these. It's been a while, and yeah, so I'm just gonna dive in. First up, I watched Rocket Man with Taron Egerton playing Elton John. Enjoyed this one quite a bit. It was more of a musical than I realized going in. Thought it still told a good job of telling the story. A lot of it I didn't really realize, I guess. I would say I like Elton John music, but I'm not like a super fan or anything like that. But I liked it quite a bit. I thought he did a great job playing Elton John. The music was very good. And of course, he's got a lot of great songs, quite a few that I've kind of forgot about. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. I'm going to give it a B. Next up, we watched The Nutty Professor and Nutty Professor 2. I feel like I didn't remember the second one as much as I thought I did, and I was almost thinking that the second one was almost more funny than the first, but definitely not the case. Really enjoyed the first one. It still holds up really well. Just didn't like the second one as much. I'll give the first one an A-, and I would give the second one a C+. Eddie Murphy's great playing all the characters. He's so funny. One of my favorites. So I definitely enjoy the first one a lot. Definitely happy to have these in the collection. And it does have a new interview with this number 2 director, Peter Segal. So, yeah, definitely happy to have those in the collection. If you haven't seen them, definitely check those out. Next up is Gross Anatomy with Matthew Modine and some other people. Didn't have high expectations for this one, but ended up liking it quite a bit. I feel like this is kind of around his time range where his characters were all kind of somewhat similar, but all likable. I feel like he's kind of like he could be in some bigger roles or something. Like, he's pretty talented, I feel like. I really liked him in Stranger Things as the bad guy. And I really liked him in Vision Quest. That was a lot of fun, and he's also really good in this one. So he's trying to become a doctor, but it's almost more he doesn't, when he starts to try to become a doctor, it's mainly just because he wants to see if he's smart enough to do it, and he wants to make the money. He doesn't really care as much about wanting to help people. It's more about the challenge of becoming one. And he meets this girl he likes. It's on the cover here, and they're classmates, and some stuff happens throughout the film. And I like this one quite a bit, but I'm going to give it a B-. It just could be a little bit better, but still enjoyable. And I plan on holding on to that one. Next up is Sorry to Bother You. I feel like people like this quite a bit, and it just wasn't for me. I don't know. For me, I just thought it was trying to be too much or something, too smart for its own good a little bit, which I know is what it was trying to be that way. It's kind of a satire of sorts, I guess. but I just didn't care for it. So this one's for sale. If you're interested, let me know. I'm going to give it a C-. Next up, a rewatch for me was Highlander, and upon a revisit, I didn't enjoy it as well as I did the first time. But this one has Sean Connery in it, as well as Christopher Lambert, who I guess his voice was dubbed, if I'm not mistaken. And the first time I thought it just kind of sounded cool, and this go around it wasn't near as cool. But there's these Highlanders. They're people that they're not able to die unless they're killed with a certain sword by another Highlander. There can only be one. But still a little bit of fun. I'll give it a B-. If I probably would have ranked it my first time, I probably would have given it an A-. So it drastically decreased in how much I enjoyed it, but I'll definitely still keep it in the collection. This should not be in here. We did not watch that. Okay, next up, I almost felt like I talked about this, but maybe not. We got Greta Gerwig's Little Women. Enjoyable film. Acting was pretty good. There's a lot of people in this. Based on the book and a remake of there might have been a couple movies, but I had watched the one with Winona Ryder, and I really enjoyed that one a lot more than this. This is still really good. I would give it a B. But some of the stuff kind of changed, and I didn't get the same. It wasn't as believable as the last one, if that makes sense. I didn't think the acting was fine, but they weren't as believable in their roles as the people were in the Winona Ryder Christian Bale version. But I still liked it, and yeah, I'm going to hang on to it, and I'll give it a B. Next up is the MVD rewind of Drive. I didn't really care for this one. There's a bioenergy module placed on his chest. Toby's awesome martial arts skills are tuned to a superhuman level. The only problem is Toby doesn't want the power. No, now only an army can stop him, and that's just what's hunting him down. As he makes his escape from an ammo-packing posse of hitmen, Toby needs a hostage, Malik, to drive him to freedom in Los Angeles. I don't know. It was just not very good. I'll give it a C-. Next up is 3 O'Clock High, Shout Select release. This is kind of what the movie Fight was based off of. I think that was the name of it. With Ice Cube and Charlie Day. So the new kid, Buddy Revell, is rumored to have a violent history, and Jerry Mitchell has been tasked with getting to the bottom of it for the school paper. Desperate to get out of writing the story, Jerry accidentally angers Buddy and earns himself a date with Buddy's fists later that day. Can Jerry escape his parking lot date with destiny? So I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I feel like Buddy, played by Richard Tyson, who was also the bad guy in Kindergarten Cop, should have got some more roles around this time. I thought he did a really good job, and yeah, quite enjoyable. I'll give it a B- though, because it could have been a little bit better. Next up was Race, with Stephen James, Jason Sudeikis, Jeremy Irons, and William Hurt, and it's the true story of Jesse Owens. This was very good. Didn't really know too much about his story, and I'm a big sports fan and sports film fan. I'm a sucker for anything sports film related, so really happy to check this out. I thought that they did a great job of telling the story and telling it accurately, and the acting was very good. So definitely check this one out if you haven't seen it. I'll give it a B+. Next up is the newer version of Charlie's Angels. Just kind of a similar telling of the usual Charlie story, but didn't like this one at all. I would give it a D. Next up is Chasers, with Tom Behringer, William McNamara, and Erica Ilinica. Might have said that wrong. So these two are in charge of escorting her to, she's a prisoner, and they have to escort her to another prison or somewhere else. And he's like a do it by the book, doesn't mess around type of guy. And this guy is supposed to be getting on leave, and he's kind of shady and withholding some money that he's using to buy a Porsche that he shouldn't be doing. And it was fine. It had some parts that were pretty enjoyable, and I'll probably keep it in the collection, but it still could have been better, but I'll give it a C+. I could have sworn I talked about this too, but this DVD will be for sale if you're interested. We got Quigley Down Under with Tom Selleck. Quite enjoyable, like an American Western that's mainly set obviously in Australia. And Alan Rickman's character writes an ad in the paper for the best sharpshooter around to come to Australia and prove it or something like that. So Tom Selleck goes to Australia to do it, and he encounters not what he thought from the ad. And this one's quite a bit of fun. I definitely recommend checking it out. If you haven't seen it, I'll give it a B+. Alright, got a few more here I'm going to talk about, and then I'll probably have one more video and hopefully get caught up here. So next up, we got the Disney Movie Club exclusive of the Three Musketeers. I watched this quite a bit when I was growing up and remember really enjoying it, especially the actors and their performances. It tells the Three Musketeers story. Does a good job. I thought the acting was very good. It is a little dated and didn't hold up as well as I'd hoped, but still enjoyable. And I'll give it a B- just because it could have been quite a bit better. Here's another one I had fond memories of. Watched this one in high school. We got Matthew McConaughey, Steve Zahn, and Penelope Cruz in Sahara. And Matthew McConaughey's character is an Indiana Jones type, and he believes in this Civil War treasure and this vehicle that he's trying to find, and no one else really believes him. And then Penelope Cruz is a doctor that kind of gets in the story somehow, and it's still held up quite a bit and was enjoyable, and I'll give it a B. Next up is Fever Pitch, and this is the original that inspired the Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon version, which is a baseball version. So Fever Pitch, obviously pitch is a name for a soccer field, so that's kind of where the original title came from. Same storyline and everything, basically the same movie, but quite enjoyable. Acting was good still, and you got Colin Firth and Lorraine Ashbourne, who I'm not familiar with. Mark Strong's in it as well. This is a Twilight Time release. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a soccer fan and you like the original. I'll give it a B. Next up, we watch the Paramount Presents of Trading Places. This movie is great, and this one really held up. Hilarious, A-. Eddie Murphy is playing a con man guy that acts like he's homeless, and Dan Aykroyd's this financial guy that's a millionaire type of real rich guy, and he works for these brothers, and they somehow see if they trade places how each other would really act. So a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy are great in this, as well as Jamie Lee Curtis. So definitely recommend checking that one out if you have not seen it. Next up is Steve Carell in Irresistible. This was better than I thought it was going to be, and not as political I thought it was going to be probably a little more political than it was, and it wasn't as much as I thought. So, top Democratic consultant Gary Zimmer, played by Steve Carell, sees an opportunity to win back voters in America's heartland. And when a video of a passionate farmer and retired Marine colonel, played by Chris Cooper, goes viral. After a long, hard day's work as a farmhand, Gary persuades the farmer to run for mayor. However, when the Republican National Committee counters him by sending in his brilliant nemesis, Faith Brewster, Gary is more than primed to up his game, turning the local race into a hilarious game of tug-of-war. So yeah, pretty fun. Give it a B. Next up, I revisited one of my favorites, Dazed and Confused. This is a Criterion Collection Blu-ray, so really happy to have it in the collection. Coming of age story of some high schoolers getting ready to enter their senior year or exit high school. So really enjoyable, great music, great acting, great story. Just love that one. Give it an A+. Next up, we watch Cruella. Enjoyed this one quite a bit. Made me want to watch the original ones that I haven't seen in a while because I kind of forgot some of the story. You got Emma Stone playing Cruella, and this is kind of the before 101 Dalmatians story. So some of the characters, that's why I mainly would want to rewatch it, because some of the characters in this one are in the movies that you had probably seen before watching this, and I really enjoyed this. Definitely happy to have it in the collection. I would give it a B+. Got a few more here. Next up, we watched Me Before You with Amelia Clarke and Sam Claflin. This is similar to Irresistible, or not Irresistible. What is the name of that? The Untouchables. It's a little bit like that, and the fact that this guy is in a wheelchair and needs assistance, and Amelia Clarke is the one that takes care of him, and then she ends up like falling for him, and I just didn't like it. I don't know. I would give it a C at best. Next up, we watched Hook on 4K. Enjoyed this one quite a bit. This is kind of like a what if Peter Pan did grow up, and then so that's Robin Williams' character, and Dustin Hoffman plays Hook. Julia Roberts plays Tinkerbell, and this is just a great film, and I really enjoy it, and it holds up just like I remember. Giving it an A-, just a lot of fun. And then lastly, I watched this Movie Hoarders from VHS to DVD and beyond. Really wanted to pick this up to support the people that are involved, some fellow YouTubers in Cinema Sickness, Rick and Down to Movie, Joe and Marie, Martinez Joe 74 channel, Wet Movie 1, and Cool Duder. I don't know if I'm leaving anybody off that I watch too often, but I really like. It was kind of cool to watch this and see some familiar faces and hear them talk about their collections and why they're into it so much and that type of thing. But I just thought this wasn't really done very well. But glad to have it in the collection, like I said. But honestly, I would give it an F. There's no pacing. There's no a YouTube video is set up sometimes better than this. Like, it's just all over the place. Mainly, it's not like it's cut into sections where they are all talking about the same type of thing. It's just all over the place. No point to it really. Yes, just so it's like they just got a video from everybody and they just put them all together. It wasn't like the person asked so many certain questions and they were all talking about the same type of thing, or even if they didn't do that, they could have put like the same type of things together or something. I don't know. It just wasn't really that great, and it was long at 129 minutes. So sorry, but I'm glad to support you guys, and it's cool you were in it, but I just didn't think it was very well done. So that's my 2 cents. And I mean, the Physical Media Man was in it, so how could that be with the movie Hoarders? So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed these reviews. I'm going to hold them up for a thumbnail. And like I said, hope you enjoyed this. And like I said, I should have one more of these, and I'll hopefully be caught up. And yeah. If you have any thoughts below, or if you're interested in any of the ones I said were for sale, let me know. I'll definitely work out a deal with you. So please make sure to like and subscribe. This is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical Media will never die.
Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Yeah!